Over the past decade, I have created multiple solutions with the Power Platform, always looking to tackle different principles of Kaizen or continuous improvement. And today I'm going to share you different examples of what you can do in each one of those principles with the Power Platform. During my journey in different operational excellence teams, the concept of Kaizen or continuous improvement was a daily occurrence. We were all the time thinking about it. Things like continuous improvement, waste reduction, standardization, employee involvement, Gemba, or where things happen, customer focus, or proactivity. Let's see the different examples and make sure you stay all the way because the Gemba one is actually quite interesting. When we talk about continuous improvement in operational excellence, we're always looking for small incremental improvements, both in product and service, but also in the way we work internally, the way we interact with each other, and everything that we can try to improve inside a business. The idea is always to look for small things that we can consistently do and that we can consistently improve. If we talk about examples, we will always look into Power Automate and Power BI. When it comes to Power Automate, we need to look for all those processes where we have something that is recurrent, things like transferring information between systems, grabbing information that it's in emails that we get on a recurrent basis, or any other type of information that we always have to grab from one place and put it in another. With Power Automate, that's quite simple. We just automate that process. It's quite a straightforward thing to do. And you will have a small improvement there that probably won't bring you a lot of benefits, but it will compound over time with the many hours that we're saving there. Another thing that we can look into is Power BI. With Power BI, we could have data analysis. We could create the databases to analyze the different processes, and we could analyze on an ongoing basis what's the status of all our products, our sales, or whatever it may be, and look for those incremental improvements that we're always looking for when it comes to operational excellence. The next concept is waste. And for operational excellence, especially if we're talking about lean, we're looking to remove all the waste that we can. Things like errors, inconsistencies, overburden of people, all of these things we're looking to remove completely or at least reduce the maximum that we can. With the Power Platform, there are plenty of examples of things that you can do to remove that waste inside your company or your organization. One thing that comes to mind is, for example, a simple ad, an app that could substitute one folder or one checklist that you do on paper. Anything that you are currently doing on paper, especially if it's something that you do on a recurrent basis, you could probably create a very simple app with Power Apps and have something way easier to do, way easier to get all the information out of, and especially something that you don't have to print, you don't have to be writing all the time and then it gets broken, lost, or whatever. Everything is centralized inside that app. Similar as the example before, if we talk about Power Automate, there's a lot that you can do here to reduce waste. Any overburden of people doing exactly the same thing over and over again, those are things that we could look to automate with Power Automate, from the smallest things, as the examples we saw before, to even bigger processes. And if you combine Power Apps and Power Automate, you can even have more of those options there. Once you have done any of those improvements, you have to look for standardization. And the idea here is that if you are testing things and you see that one of the things that you're testing is improving your operations, then you're trying to maybe deploy it across all your operations or at least standardize the way that improvement is being done. For that, the Power Platform can help you quite a lot. You'll first need some data analytics to be able to tell if that improvement is actually providing you any type of impact. And for that, Power BI is your best option. But also, you could use Power Apps to standardize more the way one improvement is being done, one process is being followed, and also Power Automate to make sure that things are always done exactly the same way, exactly with the same inputs and the same outputs. So any of the three main tools in the Power Platform can help you quite a lot when it comes to standardization of your processes and the way you work inside the company. Employee involvement is probably one of the most complicated topics when it comes to any organization that works on operational excellence. We tend to work a lot and think a lot on systems in a mechanical way, but we also tend to forget a lot that there's people involved in them and they need to use those systems. So that's one of the main challenges that we can address also with the Power Platform. Not saying that it's going to be all addressed with it, all fixed, but it's something that we can really leverage when it comes to employee engagement. The idea in operational excellence when it comes to employee engagement is that you want people to participate in providing you improvement ideas, in providing you suggestions on how to do better things, and overall be involved in the whole process of operational excellence. For that, the whole Power Platform, and especially if you're using Teams and the rest of the Microsoft tools, you're going to have a way easier time getting all that involvement. You're going to centralize everything in Teams, things from simple surveys to your employees, to having suggestion box inside the Teams, to simple apps for people to provide examples on how to improve things. All the solutions that you can create or that you can think of on how to get people involved in the whole process, all of them can be created with Power Apps and then be integrated in Teams. And the best part is that all of those solutions, if you integrate them in Teams, you could also leverage the functionalities of Teams with chats and all of that to have some debate back and forth on how to better improve things. So you always foster more collaboration between your team if you integrate everything in Teams. By the way, we create solutions like this one and many others, all of them leveraging the Power Platform to any company that may need it. So if you're looking for some of these solutions or to implement something different but similar to the suggestions that I'm providing to you, reach out to me directly on LinkedIn and we can look into it without any type of compromise. And if nothing, at least we get a good conversation out of it. It's always nice to learn from other people. Now back to see what Gemba is all about with the Power Platform. Gemba means exactly where things actually happen, where all the action is going on. And here it's probably the most powerful concept that we can have in operational excellence, in lean, in all of these theories that come from Toyota basically. And what we're looking for here is to get direct access to whoever is doing the action that we want to improve or whoever is finding the actual problem that needs fixing. With that concept in mind, with the Gemba concept in mind, what we can do here is create apps, for example, that employees can use on their day-to-day work, that they can access while they're working to provide feedback directly while they're doing their recurrent actions, the recurrent work, or even integrate all of that with Power BI so they can have it on a live visual that they can see and that they can interact with. At the end of the day, the power that you have with the Power Platform with Gemba gets 100 times bigger than it could be without Gemba. One example that comes to mind, it could be a plan manager or a plan employee. If they're working around the plan and they usually have a tablet or even just their own phone, and if they have an app where they can take pictures of, improvements that need to happen, or the 5S, if you're doing recurrent checklist on things being sorted, things being shine and clean, and all of these things that come with the 5S toolbox or techniques. If you're doing things like that, that's a very easy solution that you can create with Power Apps, and that your employees directly on the plan can have access to, and you can centralize all the information from them directly in one single app. The final concept is the proactive approach. And inside all the operational excellence and in Kaizen, to be more specific, having a proactive approach is key. If your employees are proactive in trying to find things, and especially in trying to not let things happen and making sure that they fix mistakes before they are too big, you're going to have a way easier time getting to that operational excellence state that you're looking for. We will never get there because it's a never-ending journey, but you will always get closer if you have a proactive mindset inside your team. And the Power Platform can help you a lot here. Things like Power Automate to basically automate reminders to let you know, hey, we probably need to review that machine right there. Or we need to review all the projects that have been submitted. All these reminders on things that could be nice to have or that would be important to do, all of that can be automated with the Power Platform. It's quite easy, and with Power Automate, you will do it. Probably you already are doing it, and if not, it's something that you can look out there and you'll find how to do it. It's simple, but it's a really powerful tool. But also with Power BI. In Power BI, you can also leverage big data and create predictive models for whatever you're doing. It could be sales, it could be production. At the end of the day, you're leveraging all the data you have internally, and using Power BI to be able to identify those opportunities before they are really there. So you can anticipate what's going on and have that proactive approach that you're looking for. And there you have it. Different solutions, different options on things that people ask me all the time on how they can leverage this Power Platform, all the tools that Microsoft is providing to you that you probably already have access inside your company, and how we can better leverage inside those operational excellence. Now, these are very simple examples, but dig a little bit deeper and start looking into any of the solutions that you can. How can you simplify them or make them easier for you just with the use of the Power Platform? Things like automation, creating apps to substitute things that you're currently doing on Excel or even in paper, and also how to leverage having information available for you to make better decisions. This will always get you closer to operational excellence. And if you want to know a more complex example of how you can leverage the Power Platform for your operations, I'm going to leave you an example right here where we use Power Automate to process documents that a company was having, to process all those automatically so that they can remove and leverage thousands of documents that they have inside their organization that currently are not being used. So have a look up here.